Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. In the fascinating realm of coin collecting, few pieces capture both the imagination and the attention of numismatists quite like the Lincoln 1-cent penny. And among these storied coins, the 1964 Lincoln penny holds a special place, not because it looks dramatically different from others, but because of the rare qualities that make it shine in a world of billions. Struck at the Denver Mint and marked with a bold D under the date, this humble 1-cent coin has, in an exceptional case, been valued at a jaw-dropping $152,000. Yes, that's right. A single penny, originally minted to buy bubblegum or candy, today holds the potential to change a collector's life. Let's explore what makes this 1964 Lincoln penny such a prized find. First, consider its physical attributes. The coin is round, weighs 3.11 grams, and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, with a thickness of 1.55 millimeters, standard for pennies of its era. Its composition consists of copper-plated zinc, but with a higher copper content typical of pennies before 1982. The surface shines with a red-brown patina, a coloration that reflects both its age and its preservation, balancing the fiery red glow of newly minted copper with the deeper tones of oxidation over time. To collectors, this combination of color and condition can mean everything. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's stoic profile, designed by Victor David Brenner, remains as iconic as ever. His sharp features, the detailing of his hair, and the elegant script of "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" are points where wear and grading often focus. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, crafted by Frank Gasparo, a design that replaced the original wheat ears in 1959 and stayed on the coin until 2008. The steps of the memorial are a critical grading detail. The more visible they are, the better preserved the coin is likely to be. What gives the 1964 Lincoln penny its extraordinary value isn't just the mint mark or the design. It's the condition, the rarity, and in some cases, the presence of mysterious minting errors. Coins like this must be in mint state, that is, completely uncirculated with no signs of wear and excellent eye appeal. The most valuable examples are those graded MS-66, MS-67, or even MS-68 by renowned grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. These coins retain original luster, sharp strike, and surfaces that are practically flawless under magnification. But there's more. The 1964 Lincoln penny is especially fascinating to collectors because of the transitional period it represents. The U.S. Mint was producing a record number of pennies to meet rising demand, and in the chaos of high-volume minting, certain errors slipped through, making some coins incredibly rare. Among these errors are double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled, off-center strikes, where the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, and struck-through errors, caused when foreign materials interfere with the die's contact. Any of these on a 1964 penny in pristine condition can catapult its value dramatically. In one astonishing auction, a 1964 Lincoln penny with near-perfect red-brown toning and exceptional strike quality sold for a phenomenal $152,000. It wasn't an error coin, and it wasn't made from some exotic material. It was simply a superbly preserved specimen of a common coin, elevated by its flawless presentation and rarity in such high condition. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Even the most ordinary pieces, when preserved or discovered with unique features, can become the most extraordinary treasures. Another reason for this coin's desirability lies in its historical backdrop. In 1964, the United States was undergoing immense change, politically, socially, and economically. It was the era of President Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society programs, the height of the civil rights movement, and the intensification of the space race. Coins from this period carry a certain symbolic weight, echoing the national identity and cultural shifts of the time. So how can you know if your 1964 Lincoln penny might be worth more than a cent? Start by examining its surface quality. If it still has its original luster, with no signs of wear or contact marks, it could be worth grading. Next, look for errors. Even minor doubling or misalignments could add significant value. A strong strike, clean color, and full details, especially in the Lincoln Memorial steps, are all strong indicators of a valuable coin. Finally, it's essential to handle your coins carefully. Never clean them, as that can dramatically reduce their value. Instead, store them in protective holders and consult a professional grading service if you suspect your coin may be something special. You can also compare it with professionally graded examples online to get a sense of its potential worth. The story of the 1964 Lincoln penny reminds us of something truly profound. Not everything valuable needs to glitter in gold or sparkle in silver. Sometimes, true worth lies in a quiet coin that has traveled decades through history, untouched and unnoticed, until the right pair of eyes discovers it. Whether in an old jar, a forgotten roll, or inherited from a family collection, a coin like this may be waiting to change your story, just as it has changed others that so. The next time you see a red-brown penny marked 1964 D, don't pass it over. Take a closer look and treat it like a time traveler, a little round piece of American legacy that might just be worth a fortune. Because in one remarkable case, this simple cent turned into a collector's dream, selling for an astounding $152,000. Top 2. In the vast and fascinating world of coin collecting, some coins tell a story far beyond their face value, whispering history, rarity, and hidden wealth through their simple designs. One such coin that continues to draw attention from numismatists and casual collectors alike is the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny bearing the Denver mint mark D. Though created as a common coin meant for everyday use, this specific penny has, in rare and exceptional conditions, shocked the coin community by commanding prices far beyond imagination. Would you believe that one of these humble copper-colored cents sold for an incredible $136,000? Yes, you heard that correctly. A 1976 Lincoln penny, typically overlooked in spare change, has turned heads in high-stakes coin auctions because of its rare attributes and exceptional condition. But before we get into why this penny can be worth such a small fortune, let's first dive into its basic details and what makes this coin so important to collectors today. This 1976 Lincoln penny is a product of the United States Mint in Denver, Colorado. The D mint mark below the year confirms its origin. The coin weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.55 millimeters, and is perfectly round in shape. Its distinctive red-brown color represents a natural toning that forms as the coin ages, combining the brilliance of fresh copper with the darker, more dignified tones of time. Like many pennies minted after 1962 but before 1982, its composition is copper-plated zinc, though in 1976, the copper content was still around 95%, making it heavier and more durable than the modern zinc-heavy pennies introduced in the 1980s. On the obverse of the coin, Abraham Lincoln's profile, one of the most iconic portraits in American coinage, stares solemnly into the distance. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, has graced the penny since 1909 and remains unchanged, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1976 perfectly positioned around the 16th president's silhouette. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, crafted by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely with magnification, you can even make out the tiny statue of Lincoln seated within the memorial, a level of detail that's particularly important to coin graders and collectors alike. Now, what sets this particular coin apart from the billions of pennies struck in 1976? First, it's all about condition and rarity. While the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, only a very small number survive today in absolutely pristine, uncirculated, or mint-state condition. Coins that remain untouched by circulation and are graded at MS66, MS67, or higher by third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC are extremely hard to come by. One such specimen, preserved with incredible care, with full luster, sharp strike, and virtually no blemishes, was auctioned and shocked the numismatic community when it brought in over $136,000. Another factor is error variations. Some rare 1976 D pennies may contain unusual minting errors, like double die obverse, where the date or inscriptions appear doubled, or off-center strikes, where the design isn't properly aligned. Others may exhibit die cracks, struck through grease errors, or even clipped planchets. These errors can boost a coin's value dramatically, especially when combined with high-grade condition and eye appeal. Then there's the element of historical context. The year 1976 marked the bicentennial of the United States, a time of celebration, patriotism, and national reflection. Although the Lincoln penny didn't receive a special bicentennial design like the quarter, half-dollar, or dollar coin, it remains an important part of the coinage issued during this patriotic year. Because of this, any high-quality 1976 penny is often considered a symbolic memento of America's 200th birthday, adding emotional and collector value. What also plays into the allure of a coin like this is the thrill of the hunt. Imagine sifting through a roll of old pennies or discovering a forgotten jar of change only to uncover a gleaming, sharply struck 1976 Lincoln cent. It's a dream many collectors share, one that fuels the enduring passion for coin collecting. The idea that something as small and common as a penny could secretly be worth a fortune keeps collectors engaged, alert, and excited. So, what should you look for if you think you might have a valuable 1976 penny? Start by examining its condition. Does it have that fresh, uncirculated sheen? Are Lincoln's features and the lines on the memorial crisp and clean? Next, check for any unusual patterns or doubling in the lettering or date. If everything looks perfect, or even better, if it looks odd in a way that points to an error, it might be worth sending the coin to a reputable grading service. But one important note: never attempt to clean your coin. Cleaning a coin, even with the best intentions, can destroy its value instantly. Also, be aware of the grading scale. Coins are graded from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen. Anything above 65 in red-brown or full red condition for a 1976 penny is highly sought after. A coin graded MS67 or above with exceptional strike quality and no significant marks is extremely rare, and these are the specimens that reach the highest auction prices. The story of the 1976 Lincoln penny reminds us that history, art, and mystery live not only in museums but sometimes right in our pockets. It's a story of precision, of tiny differences in minting that lead to massive differences in value, and of how time and chance can turn ordinary objects into extraordinary treasures. And so, we come to the most exciting part. One magnificent specimen of the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny, perfectly preserved, with stunning red-brown toning and flawless surfaces, captured the imagination of collectors at a major coin auction. After a wave of competitive bidding, it was sold for an astonishing $136,000. That's right, a single penny, once passed from hand to hand in everyday commerce, now stands as a gleaming symbol of possibility in the world of rare coins. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about the change in your wallet, always take a second look. You never know when a seemingly ordinary coin could change your life. Top 3. In the world of coin collecting, the most extraordinary treasures often come from the most unexpected places. A single coin, seemingly ordinary to the untrained eye, can carry stories, secrets, and significant value that captivate collectors across generations. Today, we journey into the fascinating details of one such coin, the 1979 Lincoln 1-cent penny with the Denver Mint Mark D. This unassuming copper-colored coin, which once traveled through pockets and purses unnoticed, has gained attention for its rarity, historical significance, and in exceptional cases, breathtaking value. Let's begin by exploring the physical and historical essence of this remarkable coin. The 1979 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, a facility known for producing billions of coins annually. Despite its high production volume, only a small number of these pennies exist today in perfect, untouched condition. With a standard weight of 3.11 grams, a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.55 millimeters, and a perfectly round shape, this coin conforms to the dimensions expected of pennies from this era. Its striking red-brown tone adds to its visual charm, hinting at the journey it has taken since leaving the mint. The composition of the 1979 penny is copper-plated zinc, though at that time, it still contained 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a solid weight and a distinct metallic ring that modern zinc-heavy pennies lack. This was just a few years before the U.S. Mint transitioned to a more cost-effective, copper-coated zinc planchet in 1982. This shift makes earlier copper-rich coins like the 1979 D more appealing to both collectors and metal enthusiasts alike. Looking at the design, we find timeless American artistry. On the obverse side, we see the stern and dignified portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His face is framed by the words, "In God We Trust," arching above, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1979, followed by the D mint mark on the right. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo, with its intricate architectural detail and the words United States of America and E pluribus unum above, while 1 cent rests boldly at the base. For those who examine closely, even the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial is visible, a miniature marvel of minting precision. But what transforms a simple 1979 D penny into a collectible worth a fortune? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and error types. A penny found in mint state condition, untouched by circulation, is already rare. Coins that have been perfectly preserved in sealed coin sets, rolls, or bags may retain their luster and flawless detail. When graded by third-party services like PCGS or NGC, coins receiving grades of MS66 or higher can fetch premium prices, especially those exhibiting vibrant red hues with minimal contact marks. In even rarer instances, minting errors further elevate the value of these coins. Examples include double die obverse, where inscriptions or the date appear doubled, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or struck through errors, where foreign material interfered with the minting process. These kinds of errors are not only rare but highly desirable, often making the coin one of a kind. For collectors, these quirks of imperfection are seen as signatures of history, moments when the minting process went awry and produced a fascinating anomaly that let's not forget the historical context. In 1979, America was adjusting to a new economic era. The country was facing inflation, technological change, and shifting global dynamics. Amid all this, the humble penny continued to be a trusted symbol of American currency. For many, Lincoln's enduring presence on this coin serves as a reminder of resilience, unity, and the country's long-standing values. The 1979 D penny, though not a commemorative coin, carries with it the aura of a transitional period in the nation's financial and political timeline. For collectors, there's also the thrill of discovery. Imagine finding a pristine 1979 D penny in an old coin jar, or while sorting through change collected decades ago. It's not just about the metal or the design. It's about holding a tangible piece of history in your hand. Stories have circulated in the collecting community of people unknowingly possessing such a coin, only to later realize it's worth far more than a cent. If you believe you might have a valuable 1979 D Lincoln penny, here's what to look for. First, check the coin's condition. A sharp strike, rich color, and lack of wear are all good signs. Next, look for any unusual details or errors. Even slight doubling or a shifted design could indicate a rare mint error. And if it seems promising, consider sending the coin to a professional grading service to have its authenticity and grade verified. This step can make all the difference in its market value. So how valuable can this coin truly be? While most circulated 1979 D pennies are only worth face value, select examples in immaculate condition, especially those with rare features or errors, have crossed into the realm of elite collecting. One such coin, a flawless specimen with exceptional toning and a high grade, was auctioned for a jaw-dropping sum. After intense bidding among passionate collectors, it sold for an astonishing $124,000. Yes, that's correct. A single 1-cent coin, struck in 1979 at the Denver Mint, rose from everyday currency to become a six-figure treasure. It's a testament to the hidden gems that still lie scattered across the nation, on dresser tops, inside drawers, or tucked away in old collections. For anyone with a keen eye and a little curiosity, these coins are more than metal. They are pieces of American legacy waiting to be discovered. So next time you're handed change, or you're cleaning out an old coin jar, take a second to look closer. That simple copper penny might just be the key to unlocking a truly extraordinary discovery. Top 4. In the vast landscape of United States coinage, some of the most astonishing treasures are not shimmering silver dollars or glimmering gold pieces, but rather the humble Lincoln 1-cent penny. Among these seemingly ordinary coins, the 1971 Lincoln penny with the Denver mint mark, commonly referred to as the 1971 D penny, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. It may look like just another copper-colored coin from your childhood change jar, but under the right circumstances, this little round disc has stunned collectors by reaching values that defy belief. Let us explore the deep historical, numismatic, and visual appeal of the 1971 D Lincoln penny. First minted over 5 decades ago, this penny was struck at the Denver Mint and released into circulation in massive numbers. Yet, not every 1971 D penny is created equal. While billions were minted, only a small fraction have survived in pristine condition, and an even smaller number possess rare characteristics that catapult them into the realm of ultra-valuable collectibles. Physically, the 1971 D Lincoln penny conforms to standard specifications for its era. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.55 millimeters. Its red-brown color reflects a careful preservation of its copper surface, though it's important to remember that this coin was made with a copper-plated zinc composition, which adds to its appeal, especially when compared to later compositions that used less copper content. Its round shape and classic rim encapsulate the perfect symmetry and uniformity of American coinage craftsmanship. The obverse of this coin features the legendary image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His profile has become iconic in American history, firm, dignified, and unchanging for over a century. Surrounding Lincoln's bust are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the top rim, "Liberty" on the left, and 1971 on the right, just below the highly significant D mint mark. The reverse showcases the majestic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, where with the naked eye or a magnifying glass, you can see the tiny seated figure of Lincoln within the columns, an impressive detail that underscores the mint's precision. But what elevates the 1971 D penny from mere currency to numismatic legend is the presence of errors, rarities, and extraordinary preservation. While it's true that hundreds of millions of these coins were produced, very few remain in mint state condition, a term reserved for coins that show no signs of wear and have been untouched since the moment they were struck. When these coins are graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC and achieve grades of MS66 or higher, their value can skyrocket, especially if the coin retains a vibrant red tone with no discoloration or surface marks. Some of the most valuable 1971 D pennies have been found to contain striking errors, such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, or struck-through errors where foreign material got caught in the minting process. One particular 1971 D penny made headlines for being struck on a planchet intended for a dime, making it a rare off-metal error that collectors scrambled to acquire. These anomalies are not only rare but incredibly intriguing, offering a glimpse into the unpredictable and imperfect world of coin production. For collectors, the hunt for a flawless 1971 D penny is not just about owning a rare object. It's about holding history in their hands. This coin hails from a time when the United States was undergoing major social and economic changes. In 1971, the country was adjusting to a post-Vietnam era. The economy was shifting, and coinage itself was beginning to change as the cost of metals rose. Having a coin from this era, especially one in superb condition, is like having a frozen piece of American time in your pocket. Another reason this coin is sought after is the growing popularity of penny hoarding and copper coin collecting. Since copper content adds intrinsic value and older coins often have more copper, collectors keep an eye out for pre-1982 pennies, and the 1971 D is a prime candidate. With its full weight and original luster, the right example can attract fierce interest from dealers and investors alike. Now imagine discovering one of these pennies in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or tucked away in a family collection. It might appear dusty, even slightly dull, but a gentle clean, a closer look, and proper grading could reveal a coin worth far beyond its face value. The feeling of uncovering a valuable coin is like striking hidden treasure, an adrenaline rush mixed with wonder and historical curiosity. So how high can the value go? Well, while most circulated 1971 D pennies are worth only their face value, coins in exceptional mint condition, with top-tier grading and possibly unique error features, have sold for staggering amounts. In a highly publicized coin auction, one such 1971 Lincoln cent fetched a jaw-dropping total of $147,000. Yes, you heard that right. What once was a simple 1-cent coin found in everyday change has been sold for the equivalent of a luxury car or even a small house. It's an astounding fact that reminds us never to underestimate the hidden value in something so small and overlooked. If you're a collector, or even someone new to the hobby, the story of the 1971 penny serves as powerful motivation. It encourages us to check our change, examine old coin rolls, and give new attention to the familiar face of Lincoln that has watched over American currency for generations. Because you never know, your next penny might just be one of the rarest coins in circulation today. So don't toss aside that old cent. Take a closer look. The next big find could be resting in the palm of your hand, and it might just be worth $147,000. Top 5. In the vast and fascinating world of coin collecting, some of the greatest surprises come in the smallest packages. Among the many treasures that have captivated collectors for generations, one particular coin continues to stir curiosity, spark excitement, and sometimes even change lives. It's not a gleaming gold double eagle or a heavyweight silver dollar. It's the humble Lincoln 1-cent penny. And today, we're going to journey deep into the story of a very specific and highly sought-after example, the 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. At first glance, this coin appears completely ordinary. It's just 1 cent, after all. But as seasoned collectors will tell you, appearances can be deceiving. While billions of pennies were minted in 1980, very few have survived in pristine condition, and even fewer have the rare combination of characteristics that make them worth far more than their face value. In fact, one of these pennies, under just the right conditions, has been valued at an astonishing $100,000. Let's explore what makes this unassuming coin so exceptional. The 1980 Lincoln penny was produced during a transitional time in U.S. coinage. The coin itself features all the classic design elements introduced back in 1909 by Victor David Brenner, the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, framed by the words, "In God We Trust," across the top, "Liberty" on the left, and the date 1980 on the right. But what's particularly important about this version is that there is no mint mark under the year. That means this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time did not use a mint mark for cents. Turning the coin over, we see the reverse design created by Frank Gasparo, the stately Lincoln Memorial, complete with columns, steps, and, if you look closely enough, the tiny seated figure of Lincoln himself inside the monument. This design remained in use until 2008 and became one of the most familiar reverse designs in American coinage. Now, let's get into the details that collectors care most about. The 1980 Lincoln penny weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.55 millimeters. The composition is copper-plated zinc, marking a continuation of the material shift that began around this era. The color of this coin is described as red-brown, a desirable quality that indicates it is aged naturally without extreme wear or environmental damage. And its round shape, clean edges, and sharp design details make it a striking example when found in well-preserved condition. But what pushes this coin into the realm of ultra-valuable isn't just its appearance, it's a combination of rarity, condition, and striking errors that elevate its status in the collector market. Most 1980 pennies are worth just 1 cent, but those in mint state, MS condition, graded MS65, MS66, or higher by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on eye appeal, luster, and color retention. Even more valuable are those elusive error coins. One of the most famous errors in 1980 Lincoln cents involves double die obverse, where the inscriptions or date appear doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. These errors are quite rare and instantly noticeable when magnified. Another sought-after error includes off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during minting and parts of the design are missing. There are even broad strikes and struck-through errors, where foreign material on the die leaves unusual patterns on the coin's surface. When collectors discover a 1980 Lincoln penny in mint condition with one of these error types, it's like finding a piece of buried treasure. And the demand for such coins is consistently strong at auctions and among private collectors. But there's another factor that makes these coins so thrilling: the human side. Many of these valuable coins are not discovered by professional numismatists in laboratories or vaults. They're found by everyday people in old piggy banks, inherited collections, or even in pocket change. It's the ultimate reward for paying attention to the details, and it proves that great value can often hide in plain sight. Imagine holding a penny that's been tucked away for over 4 decades, perhaps passed down by a grandparent or saved from a childhood coin collection. You take it out, examine it, notice the shine, the lack of scratches, the perfect strike, and something tells you to get it checked out. You send it to be graded, and weeks later, the verdict arrives: MS67, full red luster, flawless surfaces, and, yes, a double die error. Suddenly, you're no longer holding a 1-cent coin. You're holding a collectible valued at $100,000. That's the true magic of coin collecting. The 1980 Lincoln penny may seem modest, but in the right condition, with the right characteristics, it becomes a symbol of numismatic wonder. It reminds us that even the smallest pieces of currency can carry history, beauty, and value far beyond their monetary denomination. So, if you have a stash of old pennies, now is the perfect time to look through them with fresh eyes. That 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent sitting in the bottom of a drawer or hiding in a jar on your shelf could be your ticket to an incredible discovery. Check for errors, look for brilliance in the color, and if it seems too perfect to be true, it just might be worth sending in for a professional grade. Because hidden among the billions of coins minted each year, there's always the chance you'll find that one extraordinary piece, a coin that transforms from a common penny into a rare treasure valued at $100,000. Top 6. In the vast and fascinating world of coin collecting, there are few coins more iconic, more widely collected, and more deeply connected to American history than the Lincoln 1-cent penny. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin has passed through countless hands over the decades, each piece carrying a story, a purpose, and sometimes a hidden fortune. Today, we turn our spotlight on a seemingly humble coin that has stunned collectors with its unexpected value: the 1981 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark, a small copper-plated zinc treasure from the Denver Mint that, under rare conditions, can be worth up to $96,000. Let's explore this coin's journey, what makes it special, how it gained such incredible value, and why you might want to take a second look at that penny sitting quietly in your collection. The 1981 Lincoln penny might look like just another cent you've seen thousands of times. But as collectors and numismatists know well, it's the tiny details, the minting process, and the condition of a coin that can turn it from a simple piece of change into a piece of American history. The 1981 D penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, and like other Lincoln cents of that era, it features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, or front of the coin, we see Lincoln in profile, facing right, serious, dignified, and instantly recognizable. The inscriptions surrounding the 1981 D penny's obverse are equally familiar: "In God We Trust." Arches over the top, while "Liberty" is placed to Lincoln's left. Just beneath the year 1981, the D mint mark is proudly stamped, signifying that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most prolific coin-producing facilities in the world. Flipping the coin reveals the reverse design, a beautiful and intricate rendering of the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely, you'll see a tiny depiction of Lincoln himself seated between the columns of the memorial, a tribute within a tribute. The words "United States of America" arc along the top, with 1 cent inscribed boldly below the memorial. And of course, the national motto, "E pluribus unum," stands between them. Now, let's take a closer look at the technical aspects of the 1981 D Lincoln penny that collectors find so important. This coin weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.55 millimeters. Its composition is primarily copper-plated zinc, a standard for pennies minted during that period. The color of the coin is red-brown, a term used by collectors to describe coins that have retained some of their original reddish copper hue while showing signs of natural aging. Coins that retain more of the red tone tend to be valued higher than those that have toned fully brown over time. But why is this particular penny worth far more than 1 cent? The answer lies in a powerful combination of minting anomalies, rarity, and condition. While millions of 1981 D pennies were minted, only a small fraction of those survived in exceptionally well-preserved condition. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC are considered highly collectible. If a coin is found with full red coloration and minimal marks or flaws under magnification, it can command a premium price. However, it is minting errors that truly launch a coin's value into the stratosphere. For example, some 1981 D pennies have been found with double die obverse, where the inscriptions or even Lincoln's image appears doubled due to a die misalignment during minting. These errors are not always immediately visible to the naked eye, but become clear under magnification. Other valuable errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and struck through foreign material. These unique characteristics make the coin unlike any other in existence, and for serious collectors, that kind of uniqueness is priceless. Some coins have even been found with transitional planchet errors, where a coin was mistakenly struck on the wrong metal. Though most 1981 D pennies are copper-plated zinc, there are rare examples where the coin was struck on an older copper alloy planchet or even a foreign metal, an astonishing error that significantly increases its value. These rare error coins, when preserved in pristine condition and professionally authenticated, can fetch enormous sums at auction. Collectors from around the world compete fiercely for these once-in-a-lifetime finds, often paying tens of thousands of dollars to own them. And in one verified case, a flawless 1981 7Lincoln penny with extraordinary condition and an error strike was sold for the jaw-dropping sum of $96,000. Just imagine. A coin that millions of Americans may have passed over without a second glance turned out to be a numismatic treasure of near six-figure value. It's a thrilling reminder that fortune sometimes hides in the smallest, most unexpected places. So what does this mean for you? If you have a jar of old pennies at home, especially coins from the early 1980s, now might be the time to take a closer look. Start by separating out the 1981 pennies. Check for the D mint mark. Use a magnifying glass to inspect for doubling in the letters or numbers. Look at the condition of the coin. Has it retained that reddish shine? Is it free of heavy scratches and dings? If it looks unusually sharp, clean, and perfect, it could be a candidate for professional grading. Remember, even a slight error can make all the difference. A coin that's just a bit off-center or missing part of the design could be worth a fortune. If you find something that seems out of the ordinary, consider sending it to a reputable grading service for authentication. Coin collecting is not just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And with a coin like the 1981 7Lincoln penny, the treasure may be far closer than you think. Every time you hold a penny in your hand, you're holding a piece of American history and potentially a piece of incredible value. So don't let that penny go unnoticed. Because somewhere out there, sitting quietly in someone's collection or resting at the bottom of a forgotten drawer, is a copper-plated gem that could be worth an astonishing $96,000. Top 7. In the heart of every coin collector lies a desire to uncover something extraordinary, something rare, historical, and valuable that the world has overlooked. Today, we dive deep into the intriguing world of American numismatics to explore a coin that has captivated collectors, stirred excitement across auctions, and turned ordinary change into a sought-after treasure. We're talking about the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that may look humble but, under the right conditions, can be worth as much as $93,000 at first glance. This penny might seem like just another piece of copper-plated currency. It's small, round, and easy to overlook. But what lies beneath the surface of the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a combination of rarity, transitional confusion, minting varieties, and historical significance that makes it a true standout in the vast ocean of American coinage. To appreciate why this coin has skyrocketed in value, we need to understand what was happening in 1982. This was a transitional year for the Lincoln cent series. For decades, the U.S. Mint had been producing pennies with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, due to the rising cost of copper in the early 1980s, it became more expensive to produce the coin than its actual face value. So in the middle of 1982, the U.S. Mint made a critical decision. They would shift the penny's composition to a more cost-effective core, primarily zinc, coated with a thin layer of copper. This change introduced a fascinating mix of coins into circulation that year. Some 1982 pennies were struck with the traditional copper alloy and others with the newer zinc composition. Both types circulated with and without mint marks, and both large and small date varieties were used. That means for 1982 alone, there are 7 known varieties of the Lincoln cent, and each one tells a unique story. The penny we're focusing on today is the 1982 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, featuring a red-brown tone. A weight of 3.11 grams and a composition of copper-plated zinc. Now, this description may seem contradictory at first glance, because typically pennies that weigh 3.11 grams are the older copper alloy coins, while zinc pennies weigh closer to 2.5 grams. However, this is exactly what makes this coin so extraordinary. Some rare examples of the 1982 no-mint mark penny have been discovered with a copper alloy weight, despite having features or characteristics that suggest they should have been struck in zinc. These are known as transitional errors, a result of planchets being mistakenly used during the crossover period from copper to zinc. This mistake, coupled with the coin's lack of a mint mark, makes it a rare and desirable find. Now, let's talk about what makes a coin valuable. It's a combination of several key factors: rarity, condition, demand, and uniqueness. In the case of the 1982 penny, the unique transitional circumstances and composition errors have created a highly collectible series. When you add in factors such as die varieties, minting inconsistencies, and full red coloration, the value rises substantially. For example, a 1982 no-mint mark penny struck on a copper planchet when it was supposed to be struck on a zinc planchet and preserved in high-grade uncirculated condition becomes an absolute treasure. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have identified a few of these coins in top mint state grades, and their rarity has driven collectors into bidding wars. Some of these special coins have been found with striking abnormalities, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, making them even more valuable. A coin that checks all these boxes: correct weight, flawless condition, transitional composition, and a documented error, becomes one of the crown jewels of any Lincoln cent collection. Collectors who find one of these rare 1982 pennies in pristine condition, especially with that distinctive red-brown luster and error details, can expect their coin to fetch an impressive amount at auction. In fact, one such coin was authenticated and sold for a staggering $93,000. Yes, you heard that right, $93,000 for a penny. It's stories like these that keep coin collectors hunting, searching, and examining every piece of pocket change with fresh eyes. And the 1982 penny is the perfect example of how the smallest, most unassuming coin can turn out to be an extraordinary piece of history. So, what should you do if you think you have one of these rare coins? Start by checking the weight. A simple coin scale that measures in grams will tell you if you've got a copper or zinc version. Copper versions will weigh approximately 3.11 grams, while zinc coins will weigh closer to 2.5 grams. If your coin matches the 3.11 g weight but appears to be a zinc version, you could be holding a rare transitional error. Next, examine the details under magnification. Look for doubling in the lettering, unusual spacing, or signs of a striking error. If your coin seems to be in excellent condition, free of scratches, dings, and blemishes, it may be worth sending it to a professional grading service for authentication. Coin collecting isn't just about value. It's about discovery, preservation, and the stories behind the coins. Each coin is a miniature time capsule, an artifact of history that has traveled through decades, carrying the echoes of the past. And sometimes, just sometimes, it carries a fortune with it too. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, keep your eyes open. Check your change, inspect those old jars of coins, and don't overlook the humble penny. Because as the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent has proven, even the smallest coin can hold a mighty surprise and possibly a value of $93,000.